Welcome to The Loop, your weekly dose of all things property management. I'm your host, Colin Stewart, and each week we dive into the latest trends, strategies, and stories shaping the property management world. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just getting started, we're here to provide insights, expert interviews, and practical tips to help you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of property management. In today's episode, we're joined by Elise, who's built a portfolio of around 70 properties focused on second homes. I almost said second-hand homes. That'd be a very different thing. And is navigating the realities of scaling, profitability, and stepping out of the day-to-day. Welcome back to The Loop, your weekly dose of all things property management. I'm your host, Colin Stewart, and each week we're going to dive into the latest trends, strategies, and stories shaping the property management world. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, we're here to provide insights, expert interviews, and practical tips to help you navigate the ever-evolving landscape of property management. Elise, iTrip NC Beaches, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm excited to have you. I love when we can get really specific into like niche businesses, where you've got a very specific thing that you do for a very specific set of clients. And I think those are some of the most fun and most interesting. I want to talk about how you got here. What got you into the idea of managing people's second homes?
Well, I'm in a market where I'm a real estate agent and I've been doing that for about 20 years. And my husband retired from his normal business, corporate world. And he was looking for something to do. And we were looking at franchises and we came across, I came across iTrip because a lot of my clients were complaining that they really didn't have a good property management company to manage their second homes. So we got into doing revenue projections for them and then started the vacation rental management business based on what everyone's needs were at the time.
I find, I talk to people that are retiring and they're saying, I'm going to buy a place on the beach. I'm going to go put my feet up in the sand. And your husband's like, no, I want to take the hardest job and the hardest role at the lowest profitability profit margin side of the real estate transaction. That sounds fun. What's wrong with you? In a loving, kind way.
He likes to keep busy and he does a lot of, he's handy, I guess, and he likes to work with, so he was started off as like our maintenance person. So, and then learned the real estate business while he was doing it. Yeah, I was the one that really knew the real estate business and kind of worked him into that. But yes, there's not a lot of overhead in that business when you're starting off. I mean, there's definitely marketing and software, but it's not like you're opening a retail store or a restaurant where you have to where it's millions of dollars, so.
That's handy. Yeah, we're not starting a software company in the 90s where you need to spend millions of dollars on servers or anything crazy like that.
So he was seeing that picture. Well, it's a small investment bringing on, little by little. So
I love it. What would you say is the one channel that's working the best for you for finding new clients?
Definitely our postcards right now are working the best. The postcards and the real estate transactions. A lot of our partners use realtors to get referrals because a lot of realtors don't do property management. But in our area, I would say like 80% of the realtors do property management, like either them or their company. So that's not a good source for us. But yes, definitely direct mail and word of mouth. We've gotten a lot of referrals from our owners.
Love that. So strongest sign that you're doing something right is if you're getting referrals from the people that you're currently working with.
Absolutely.
I love that. I'm curious, as you grew to 70 properties, when did it start to feel heavy, complex?
I think between 15 and 20 properties, it became like, okay, I can't do everything. It's like you're the one running out and checking. Like we have a strict policy where we do inspections before someone comes in, even after the cleaners go. We hired people. So we were like, okay, we can't run out to every single property and do inspections anymore and do customer service and do all that. So the first people that we started hiring were part-time inspectors, and we trained them how to inspect a property so it was ready for a guest. Because our ultimate goal was a 5-star review from the guest and a 5-star review from the owner. That was like that's our culture,
Hmm.
like that's what we're looking for. And so in order to do that, you have to have that double standard.
I love that.
And then, once that started working, the maintenance side needed a little help too. And so we got some part-time. We started hiring some contractors that would do some part-time work.
Hmm.
But then after about 50 to 60 properties is when we decided we really needed like a general manager to come in,
Hmm.
and so that we can have more time to relax and not work 24/7.
Yeah. It's a lot. I remember with my first company, the first vacation I took that was away from the company, I think it was 3 weeks. My wife and I went to Australia for a friend's wedding. And I was in touch with folks from like most of it off and on, but there was a week where I was on this island that didn't have cell service. And it was like, well,
Yay.
this is this is the real test of like, can they survive without me? You know,
That's yeah, I think I'll do that maybe this next time.
100%. I'd recommend. It's Fraser Island. It's an island made out of sand. It's huge and it's
Ooh,
all
yeah.
made out of sand. And there's, at least when I was there a while ago, there was no cell reception.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope it's still the same. So when we talk about like property management businesses, they're all relatively low margin. There's lots of competition. How are you thinking about kind of pricing, profitability, given that you're serving a more premium market, you're doing a lot more, for your customers than say the average vacation rental manager?
Mhm. Are you saying that, as far as our commission? I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just curious, like, how are you thinking about, pricing your offering on the
Mhm,
property management side of things, and then like balancing the profitability versus like serving the 5-star mission versus like making sure it's a profitable going concern.
mhm. Yeah, that is, like, something my husband does, so I don't really get into the rates and the pricing as much, but
Hmm.
it definitely starts happening once you get a certain amount of properties and a certain amount of, rental income per property, and
Hmm.
our rental income per property per year is a lot higher than I think most.
Hmm.
We require a minimum of, a property has to make at least 25,000 a year in rental income for us to take it on, for it to be worth it for us to take it on because of all those things that we have that we manage and pay for. And, I hope that answers your question.
Totally. Yeah, for sure.
But the average property that we manage probably makes about anywhere from like 50 to over 100, so it just depends. So we're doing pretty good as far as selecting the right homes to manage.
I love that. I'm curious, like I love the kind of the journey of getting up and kind of bootstrapping this with between you and your husband. Now that you're kind of on top of it and able to take a month off, that's incredible. What's the focus right now for the two of you? You've kind of got this business too. You put the 10 years in. It's alive. It's default alive. It's going to keep going. Where are you spending your attention?
I think that if we can get this general manager to really take on more and then maybe hire like an assistant manager, is
Hmm.
to really take a full step back and really let them manage the company and just be there for consulting. That would be my ultimate goal. It's funny because I don't think I've told you before, but when we started this company, we have twin girls, and they're gonna be 30 next week. That one of them graduated from college and didn't wanna be a teacher, so she ended up being our customer service manager, and then the other one couldn't get a job because of COVID after, so she can't, and so we had our daughters working for us full time, so our original goal was that they were gonna take over the company, but since then, they've not wanted to pursue that, but they still work for the company, both of them work for the company full time.
Gotcha. For now, they might come around to it. I had a friend of mine.
Getting married, having babies, families and stuff like that. Other things are important.
For sure. And then you have the families, and then you're like, oh, I need more money than I currently have.
Yeah, you have kids then?
I
Yeah.
have 8-year-old twin boys, actually.
Oh, you have twin boys. Oh my gosh.
It's
Yeah, that's
chaos.
tough. Yeah. Well, we had 2 boys and then we had twin girls, so we had 4. We raised 4 kids, and they're all married and they all have kids, so I have 5 grandkids now and 1 more grandchild on the way.
Fantastic.
And I definitely wanna spend more time with them, so which is another motivation for me to really just trying to get the company surviving without me.
Love that. If we have the same conversation in a year from now, what do you hope is what it looks like?
I would probably telling you that I would definitely don't really know what's going on in day to day, but I'm definitely, looking at the financials and the monthly reports and just kind of making sure everything's running smooth and I'll be there if they need me. But yeah, just kind of a little bit more spending more time with my grandkids and traveling.
That's amazing. That's the goal, and I love it. If somebody was thinking of entering a similar market where, there's a very unique set of property, there are very unique sets of operational challenges that come with serving that market, what are some things they should think about before, either, you know, trying to serve a market like this or investing in real estate in a market like this?
I think they just need to look at, what they're charging, like, because some areas, for, property management might be lower percentage than other areas. So just because I'm in this area doesn't mean it's one particular like, let's say it's 20%, is the going rate for property management or something like that. And, in their area, it might be 10 or
Mm,
15. It has to be that's like the first thing you really need to look at. What is your competition doing? What are the rates? What are people paying per night? What is the a projection of a property of rental income? And is that if you gather a portfolio of a certain amount of those, is that going to be worth it for you?
I love that. When you think about kind of the decision to double down on Bald Head Island and on the vacation rentals, 10 years hindsight, how are you feeling about that decision? Totally the right call, or do you kind of wish you stayed on the mainland and said, let's go super wide and broad?
No, our first house was on Bald Head, so yeah, that's been a place that's been close to my heart for over 30 years, and it's just to see people visit it for the first time or to just feel like I know my children, grew up going there, and
Mhm.
that is just such an emotional attachment for them. Like it's such a beautiful place that they'll have for the rest of their life. They'll know because some people have never heard of it. You probably never heard of it before I mentioned it, and people find and discover it. It just becomes a really nice getaway.
Yeah, be careful if you're
Because
currently
it's
going.
easy to get to, because
Mhm.
we have big cities by us, Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro, where people can drive there and get there in like 3 hours,
Hmm.
so it's not like, you can take a nice, getaway from from everyday life and just not go too far.
I love that. If you're currently listening, I highly recommend going and having a look and just be prepared. It's going to cost you 15 minutes of your time because it's such a beautiful place, and it may cost you more because you may decide to make the trip and go out there. If
Mhm.
somebody does take a look and they do have a look at the properties and they say, you know what, I want to get out here. What's the best way for them to find out more about what it is that you do and how you might be able to help them on that trip?
I think just schedule an appointment with me and have me show them me or my husband or one of my employees or my agents show them around because you really can't find it on your own. You really need a guide of some kind to just kind of pull you in the golf cart and just kind of show you everything about the island. And it won't take that long either because it's not very big. But yeah, you'll fall in love as soon as you get there.
Amazing. Best place for people to look is itripncbeaches.com.
Yes,
I love it. Tell them Colin sent you when you call into Elise. Anything you said that I missed that we wanted to cover before we call it a close today?
I think I'm good. Mhm.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And thanks to everybody for listening. We'll catch you all next time.